turn on the power. So now power is being delivered to the machine. I have to wait for the machine to check to make sure that everything is working or is in order or is working properly. Once it does that, it'll go solid green. Just like now, it goes solid green. Okay? Let me come right over here. So now I'm done talking about this, and I'm about to start up the machine. Most importantly, I need these on. Okay, so now I have my safety glasses on. I protected my eyes. I don't have any long sleeves, no jewelry on, nothing that could get caught in the machine. I don't have a real baggy shirt on. So I'm holding this material down. I want to turn this on. This is running at 4 RPM right now, okay? I want to push the material all the way through the blade, keeping it nice and tight to the fence. Now that I push this all the way through, bring my hand around this way, I turn this off, and I wait right here. I wait on this side until the blade stops, okay? That way I can't get hit with a kickback of this piece of material. As you notice, I wait until the blade stop. This is my scrap piece that's on the scrap side. This piece has the potential of coming off here, so that's why you never want to be standing over on this side after you cut, okay? That'd be a bad place to be standing, just due to the fact that it can be coming off. Okay, so this is how you rip a board. So now we've addressed in squaring the board. This face, we jointed one edge, and then now we rip the other edge. So now the width right here is 8 inches, and the width right here is 8 inches. So now the only thing we have left is to cut this end square and this end square. And that's when the miter gauge comes into play. We have the blade set to the proper height. Okay? This is a miter gauge. And this sits inside this miter slot here. You want to make sure that the blade does not come in contact to it. A bad place for this to be set is if you took this and placed this in here, it's going to hit the blade, right? We don't want to do that. So I'm going to take this, bring this over, set this on this side of the blade. Now I want to talk to you about hand placement, okay? Now I want to go ahead Okay. All right. Here's the deal, is whenever you want to cross-cut something, I want to go ahead and I want to set up just to take off enough to make sure this end is square. So I'm going to slide this back, bring down the fence. Now, hand placement, okay? The blade is right here, so my hand closest to the blade is going to go on this handle, all right? My other hand is going to place this over the miter slot, holding the material down and against the fence. I'll take this hand off. I make sure the blade is not in contact. It's away from the blade. I turn this on. I wait for it to get up to 4 RPM. I push this all the way through. It's all the way through the cut. I stay on this side. I slide this material over. I bring my hands back. I turn this off and stay on this side. Now this is where you want to stand until that blade comes to a complete stop again. Okay, I'm going to slide this down. I'm going to lift this up. This is a scrap material. We don't want to leave that on the blade running because it could become a potential projectile. So I have this. I'm just going to place this over here with my other scrap pieces. And then I'm going to show you this miter gauge in this miter slot. Now you can move these miter gauges from one side to the other without a problem, just by loosening these up and sliding it to one side or the other. It doesn't really matter as long as you make sure it doesn't come in contact with the blade. It's out of the way of the blade, okay? So I'm going to lift this stop lock up. just to show you on this side for hand placement purposes. I'm gonna lift this up. This side, the board tapers this way, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this over here just like this. So this will come in contact with this. On this board, I wanna keep it to the maximum length as possible. This isn't for a very specific project, this is just for demonstration purposes. So I'm making sure this is away. And again, these two miter gauges are set at 90 degrees. Okay, now, same principle. Hand closest to the blade is on the handle. The other hand is holding this down and against the fence over the miter slot. So this is out of the way of the blade. Turn this on. I wait for it to get to 4 RPM, which it is. I go ahead. I cut all the way through. I slide this over a little bit. I turn this off. Now something that's really important is that piece of material. Now the scrap piece is on this side. So the worst place, or you don't want anyone standing, the worst place to be is like right here, right? So now the blade is stopped, I'm gonna lift this up, remove the scrap material, then bring the blade guard back down. So now we've squared our board, okay? I think this is it for as far as your safety on the table saw. If you have any questions, please, I'll give you 2 minutes to switch from one platform to the next platform, and go ahead and get in the chat box and go ahead and ask me some questions, okay? Thanks, we'll see you again.